I'm taping it now, Mickey. This is abandoned. This is a prison in America. Don't move too much, Mickey. It's making the camera bounce.
Where the guards can look out in every direction and see the cells going off in the distance.
The design of the penitentiary was actually extremely innovative, which meant that a small group of guards could keep an eye on the whole prison from that one location.
Look at it, it's all abandoned. Well, this is when things get very interesting. First of all, this is the third attempt at trying to get the video onto the channel. But first of all, YouTube said this part of the video is okay, and the last part was copyrighted or they didn't like it. So I've altered that, and now the first bit, they don't like the first bit, so we've come in. And then what it was is this sort of video was there on history, because we were looking things up a bit about this prison. And they're saying that this is the Philadelphia. That one says Eastern State Penitentiary. So we will check on that, but the front of it's different, because when we look at the other one, okay, this I still think is the Union Jack with some added wings. It goes, the wall goes across here. And it's a little bit different to this, but it's saying that. So we're just going to have another scrummage round, aren't we, Mickey?
Yeah.
Right. So we go and look it up, and here's our little beauty. And you see here, the wall goes straight round the outside. The other thing as well is I wanted to add is that they said that this place was the state of the art. That it was revolutionary, state of the art.
Water system, toilets.
Yeah,
flushes.
system. And then it wasn't. But we're going to carry on with the video. We're breaking in because we have to.
Yeah.
However, creating a model prison to revolutionize the treatment of offenders was not cheap. It was one of the most expensive public building projects ever carried out in the US.
This is 1828. Now each inmate has their own central heating, their own wash basin.
Mickey had an idea that it actually was Holiday Inn's bed and breakfast.
Well, the flushing toilet. You know what I mean?
Bit like that, and look, you've even got the pillars on it. Even if they're lights, it's still like pillars on the Holiday Inn.
Tartarian style.
Yeah, well, it was for him then, if that's what he got. I mean, you don't feel sorry for him going to prison if that's what he got. But anyway.
Well, yeah, he got us, like, you know, got put in the right bloody prison.
Well, maybe for them it was a bit like going Holiday Inn. Or it's a safe house. Maybe it was a safe house to get him out of the way for a bit.
But then I think when you said it could be for gentries, you know, that important MPs and all that.
I just took him in there. They'll never know out there.
They'll get killed in another prison, wouldn't they? Especially if, you know.
Well, maybe we're uncovering bits of the story, the history. It's all crazy, but anyway, it reminded, when you think that the prisons were revolutionary and having all that, or maybe they were like that. Maybe prison. Hey, you're going to prison. Hey, I say, old boy.
Come on.
But we're going to give you
lashings of food.
Yeah, you're going to feel like you're outside, but you're not. You're inside. Not outside, but you're inside. But you're going to get the same life as outside, but inside, with the light from God.
We call it the Holiday Inn.
Yeah.
Within.
Yeah, with, oh God, 33.
Yeah, it's there again.
Yeah, anyway, we're adding again.
Cell 33.
Aren't we, Mickey?
Yes.
So if anybody says to me that this is all like, I'm doing this for whatever, you know it's not true now, because in a way, me and Mickey spend hours making these videos where we could be on my bed having a cuddle.
Let's go.
You know what I mean, though, don't you? See, but you know, don't you, Mickey, that it just is
yeah, it's just crazy.
especially when YouTube want to do their bit.
Destroy you, yeah.
Yeah, destroy.
Black ball.
Anyway, thank you, darling.
Thank you, Karen.
Their own flush toilet. Now let's put that in perspective. The White House, the president, he doesn't have his own flush toilet. These guys do.
Prisoners were in solitary confinement, but they did have enough food. They weren't threatened by violence from other prisoners. You can see why the founders of the prison thought it was a step forward.
This is supposed to be the state-of-the-art revolutionary prison because it was going to be treating people in a different way. Or do you think this is to do with privilege? If I pay for my cell, what is it? What's going on?
Well, yeah, it's like if you, when you said privilege, like, can you pay for your cell? You could pay in them like 1700s. You know, you could like gentries would be in the same cell. You know, and they'd share the same cell, and these men would have money.
But it said that all this
And they
prison
could buy
was like
themselves
that.
out.
This whole prison was like this.
Yeah, this one, you know, it's a bit later on, but it's what does me is the system. It's like it's got central heating for the prisoners and flushing toilets that the president didn't even have. So, so what's going on there? Yeah.
Is that like when they exiled a Nelson or whatever it was and sent him off and he died over there? Not Nelson.
Oh, you mean the privilege of that?
No, what's his name?
People?
Who's the French
Admiral
one?
Nelson?
Yeah, French one.
That's Napoleon.
Yeah, Napoleon. Well, they banished him, didn't they? They didn't kill him. They banished him.
Yeah, but wasn't that Devil Island?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, they just sent him to an island. Like they just sent them to this nice prison.
Yeah, that's what.
So Al Capone, it was probably a bit annoying for him, but
yeah,
look at the
privilege.
luxury he had.
The privilege, yeah. Yeah.
But I bet you the people didn't know this was happening.
No, well.
They probably don't even know very much today. That they're just, well, I just don't know what to make of everything.
Well, it seems like it wasn't hardship, was it? When you got
not when you were Al Capone, then.
Well, even when you got central heating and flushing toilets, not hardship, was it? That's a hotel.
No, well, each cell probably today has a flushing toilet. They just don't look very nice. But these ones are just a bit different. But it doesn't really look that nice, does it?
Like one of them cheap hotels, isn't it?
Yeah, with a skylight in it. They said the skylight was for them to have. That was be like God
God's
coming
light,
in.
yeah.
The light is from God.
Upon you. God's light's upon you.
Yeah, so there's another picture of it over here. We're just going to the diagram over here. There you go. Look at this. Still a Union Jack. That's the Union Jack. Somehow, everybody seems to run everything. There it is there. It's Union Jack. Runs everything.
Should the seat down so you could see.
Whatever it is. I know it's my national flag right now, but whatever that thing is.
They say from the middle you can see down each block if you stand in the middle.
Yeah, there was a bit of video. It showed it that you see turn around.
That's the centre point.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Here.
But it's a bit different to the picture he was showing. It's like
In the way it's built.
I don't know. I just can't see this as being state of the art either.
See this bit here. This really old part. See where how it's built. It's almost like big stone. It's pretty old, isn't it?
There's the toilet. What's that? Oh no, it's a chair.
Barber's chair.
It's amazing. The whole place is falling down, but there's a barber chair in there. Anyway, we've broken in again, so let's break in.
Yeah.
Would this revolutionary prison actually rehabilitate the inmates? And why was it abandoned? After just a few years of operation, problems began to surface. By the 1830s, engineers had to expand the penitentiary and alter the design in order to accommodate a growing number of inmates.
Or immigrants.
They had to bring in a whole lot more prisoners. So all those nice designs,
Calling them prisoners, but they're probably immigrants.
would foster reflection. That was gone.
Yeah, it could be the orphans.
The prison kept working. It kept functioning, but it was no longer the idyllic prison of the future it once was.
This is the outside of that prison, and to me, we learnt something different when Mickey was at the hospital. We wanted to find out a bit of the history, and we went past this board, and we went past it, and we didn't see it. And then one day we did, didn't we, Mickey? It said that it was a garrison, which was an army barracks, and that it was originally that, and then it got given to whatever and turned into the hospital at Reading. It was a garrison.
Yeah.
So this looks like what this was. This was a garrison or something. And then it turned into, I've got to show you again a picture of it. It's on the main now, but it's just quite ironic. Hang on. There you go, a Union Jack prison here. Union Jack. It's been altered a little bit now because it's been built on and built on and built on. It doesn't necessarily now resemble quite a Union Jack, but it was a Union Jack. How incredible is that? Come on, everybody. Yeah, and the British were there for that one, maybe, or whatever we're in has the Union Jack, and the Union Jack seems to be hovering from here for the last so many years. That's why we're called the United Kingdom, to unite everybody to the Roman Empire. But look at that, a Union Jack prison. Please, people, wake up. You need to wake up and realise nothing is as you think it is.
Even the advanced features of the cells failed to work as planned.
There were furnaces at the end of the cell blocks, and they were to heat the tunnels underneath the cells, and then the air was to flow in. But the people closest to the furnaces were getting carbon monoxide sickness, and people on the other ends were getting frostbite.
The flush toilets were flushed twice a week by the prison guards. Twice a week. And hence the stench that this created. It was legendary.
So it starts out as the state-of-an-art prison. It's got all the mod cons. They've got living rooms and toilets and stuff like that. And then suddenly it wasn't the modern con. It was an old-fashioned place. It used to have one person in a cell, and then it was having multi-people in the cells. And then this woman's going to talk in a minute. She's going to explain that they only flushed the toilets twice a week.
Yeah, crazy, isn't it?
What do you make of that?
I think it was a punishment to smell your own shit. Because you're a prisoner.
But they weren't made
Lucky
like that,
they
were
flushed
they?
it.
When Al Capone was there, it wasn't like that.
Well, no. Yeah, they had their own cell. Flush toilet.
So a bit more gentlemanly. And,
Yeah.
yeah, and then it turned into shove as many as you can in there.
Yeah.
No, they can't have the toilet. Or maybe they block the toilets up. Well, surely that would block the toilets up.
Yeah, it would overflow, yeah. But then it's like, if you're waiting 2 weeks, they must have a big sewage outlet to hold all that shit
What
in.
about the smell in the cells?
That's what I'm saying. You're going to live in your own.
Can you imagine? You get 20 years, and if you go to those cells, you'll never survive the toilets.
You're lucky you didn't get a slop bucket. And you shit in a bucket in your cell.
Well, we don't know what it was really like. Was it more
Well,
like?
it was
Was
like
it?
that.
Was it more like Al
Or shit in a
Capone's,
bucket.
and they've added to the story? So they
He
can't.
just got lucky.
They have to get rid of the fact they were treated a bit nicer than we thought they might have been. Because don't forget, going to prison, you're almost in shackles and you can't see the daylight and all that.
Given, innit? Yeah.
And here we are. We find a prison that's got, you can have your own library,
T-bone steak
toilet.
every day, yeah.
So it's a bit like, okay, you might be in a brick cell
cell.
or a stone cell, but after that, it's like home.
Yeah, well, they make it like home, don't they?
And then it wasn't. Is that
like
when
prisons.
Tartaria ended? And the Queen, remember, she made England into a corporation in 1953 when she was crowned. And we know Tartaria it started to go in the 1920s.
Yeah,
So
1920s, wasn't it? Yeah.
yeah, so
Coming in.
this would fit into sort of this area that he might have come in. And it's all sort of maybe Tartarian, and all that's going now. For
Yeah,
the
that
sodding lot that took over.
Yeah.
or changed it.
Went.
Yeah.
Yeah, it came the new era.
Well, they were obviously in before that, but that's when they did the
Yeah.
change. And that's the bit in there is when Ireland was independent. We've done the video on that. They were independent then, Ireland, and then they changed it again.
Yeah. It's like, was that, crikey, what year was it, Al Capone? Because they had prohibition in that, and Al Capone was...
It was we've just put the date up, Mickey. We've got. Hang on a second. Let's go back to Al Capone.
I'm sitting over here. I can't...
Put that up. So we've got. That's the date he was in prison. That's the date he was in prison. So there we go. In the internet, that's what it's saying. The prohibition with alcohol was 1920 to 1933, and a 33 again, Mickey.
Uncanny, eh? Ooh, there's that word.
So what's the connection then for you?
Oh, well, in this prohibition, it wasn't like the alcohol was basically being used to run your car.
Oh, so basically they've made it sound like it's bad for you, but it was bad for them because we were taking it, putting it in our cars.
Exactly. Moonshine runners and everything. They knew that this was free petrol.
So
Like,
all
you
the
don't
films
drink
and
it,
everything's going to say it's about alcoholism,
Yeah,
and it wasn't. It was about filling the car up
Free
on next to
petrol.
nothing.
Free for everyone. For 2 pence.
So it
5p.
wasn't even drink. It was petrol.
Yeah, but you can drink it. That's the thing. Moonshine was your fuel. Because the engines could handle it. And that's why they wanted to stop it.
So that's why they sent him to prison.
Yeah.
What did I say? I said
there's always something behind it that they're not told.
I know, but I wasn't sure, Mickey. I said that he was a freedom fighter, and you were. So he obviously was then, wasn't he? Because he was selling fuel instead of alcohol.
Yeah, both.
Wow. Straight from Mickey's mouth.
So yeah, that's why they didn't want it. They want to sell their fuel and their oil. You can't have that. We want Esso.
Independently from the government.
I could stop. Oh.
You can put it over there. We can't hear you.
So,
But independently from the government.
yes, farmers get it fucking do their fields for free, innit? Pardon me. Gone over the top there. But yeah, the farmers do their fields for free. You know, that's it.
Ah.
And and yeah, again, here's your government. You ain't having none of that, boy. We're taking that away. That's what they did. Because you're getting it for free. And if you pay your tax. Now, ours now, put Al Capone in there, we'll get rid of it.
Well, what did I say? I keep saying it.
Bit like
Nothing
Gaddafi,
is
innit?
what you think it is.
Yeah, it's a different story altogether.
Thank you, Mickey, for saying that. I hope that's made people go, oh, wow.
Maybe.
Mm.
Some might know it already.
Thank you, Mickey.
Thank you, Cam.
On a practical level, the whole idea of rigid separation of prisoners proved impossible to maintain. Cells designed for one man soon housed 2 or 3.
So we're just taping this because I just thought it was a little bit interesting that it's another abandoned place, this great big prison.
Was replaced with overcrowding and harsh.
This is abandoned, what is it, Mickey?
Abandoned prison.
No, the programme.
Oh, it's
In
abandoned
1929,
engineering.
Abandoned engineering.
employed solitary confinement to try and rehabilitate one of the most notorious criminals of all time.
So, Mr. Al Capone, there he is. He gets to be a prisoner in this prison. And it's like home from home. Get your own living room, bookcase, lights, the whole thing. So I just don't understand what happened later on. Maybe they said, right, we're taking over. Now we're changing it. There's not 1 in a cell, there's 5 in a cell. And nobody gets all those things. And then over time, then they said it was overcrowding. And then in the 1970s, they closed this prison down. But it was going from the 1880s. But anyway, so they said that he was head of, he was the head of the crime. And then at 33 went to prison. But I don't think he spent very long in this prison. But look at it all. Imagine having a prison like that. It doesn't go together with how they treat people. I just don't get why that one looks like that. But anyway, supposedly that's him. And that's what he got. His own little haven where he was probably running things from there instead. But it did start crumbling and having problems. But they would say that, wouldn't they, when actually it's a Union Jack. So that probably tells you a bit more about who was running it. Anyway, there you go. So in 1929 he was arrested for carrying a .38 caliber revolver. How do you not know that he's not the goodie? And he's been covered up like the baddie just to, because they part tell you the truth. They just don't tell you all the truth. But anyway, we're going to carry on now with the rest of the video. And he could have been a freedom fighter. So let's carry on with the rest of the video. Is this Al Capone?
Yeah, the Eastern State Penitentiary actually had quite a few famous prisoners in it, the most famous being Al Capone, who spent a few years there for a minor charge.
Now, he was serving 8 months, although his original sentence was longer. He described his time there as easy.
So I've been saying all along that, there you go, it was in the information that he was 33 when he went to prison, and how do we know whether he was a goodie or a baddie? And then Mickey saw, go on Mickey.
It's number 33.
So he could be a Mason.
Yeah. So it's he had to play the part, has to go to the prison, but he ain't going to want to live in shit, will he? So he'll want all the goodies, because he's a Mason. And if you have a copper in that fucking cell, pardon my French, every guard in that cell, know what they're like.
Yeah.
Give me some money. Thank you. Yeah.
I'm not doing this unless I get a sofa,
Yeah.
a record player, and I want a bar.
Just fits in there now
Yeah.
at that time. You know, scares the people in the town. You know, oh, there's big gangsters around. You know how it works.
Nothing is as it actually is, but Mickey thought put it in that he
Yeah.
might have been a mason.
Well, I'm not letting them have the 33 for nothing. See what I'm saying? And they're not putting in the newspaper for nothing. They're showing of other masons. Very uncanny, isn't it?
Thank you for that, Mickey.
Okay.
Well, it would be easy when you have your own sofa, your own bookcase, and your own record player that you play waltzes on. It couldn't have been that easy, though, because we know he spent a good deal of his bootlegging income trying to get that sentence even further reduced.
For 42 more years, the prison continued to operate, despite its notorious conditions. But in 1970, because of overcrowding, the once revolutionary prison finally closed its doors for good. Today, the dilapidated Eastern State Penitentiary lies deserted in the middle of bustling Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
After it was closed, the whole site became abandoned. But then a consortium of concerned citizens got involved and said, no, this is a historic landmark. We need to make it into a museum. And that's what it is today. And that feels...
Well, how exciting is that they turned it into, it is a museum. Anyway, we just thought that might be a little bit interesting for you to see a little bit of that. I have filmed it on my phone, but, yeah. What do you make of that then? The actual entrance bit's very old, and then of course they've added on. And then from the 1800s and then the 1970s, it was closed down, they said, due to overcrowding. That probably isn't the truth. They don't care huddling people together. They don't care. So that's probably not the truth. But hopefully you've enjoyed. Thanks very much for watching. And Mickey was there on the edge, weren't you, Mickey?
Yeah.
He was on the edge. But anyway, thanks very much.